When you have such a powerful beam of light travelling around like this, you get, it goes around, and then when it's shining on the back wall, it's still that powerful, it sends out a beam. And the science in trying to hide that shadow beam is colours in blacks and bits of cardboard and all sorts of things, because as it turns around, you get the secondary shadow from it, you know, and which can give you a false reading. I gave a couple of talks on early Caloundra recently, and I mentioned about the, see, Moreton Bay here is only 6 metres deep as an average, and the passage that was there, being in a estuary type bay like that, used to move a bit. And so the 2 lighthouses on Bribey were on wheels, and they would tow them to the new position because they didn't have the dredging ability that we've got now. And the other thing that's really interesting, if you read about, one of the big Japanese submarines came in here, and it had the big Japanese, but it had 9 big German mines on it. Very high
in the war.
Yeah. And what happened? I wasn't here. I didn't speak that language. And it laid the 9 mines in here, and got out, and no one knew. And one day, a little Australian boat called the HMAS Swan was doing some gunnery practice, and they hit one of the mines and blew the 11 daylights out of the mine, and then it set off a couple of the others.
Oh, yeah, triggered them.
Triggered them, and they what the hell's going on here? So they started to search for them, and they pulled in 4, I think it was, 3 or 4, and there was one they could never find. So it was still. And there was quite a few other mines in there that were controlled by cables on Bribey and up on the head here.
We've got a map there that shows you where they are. The mines. There's a nest of them out just in there, according to that. An old friend of my mum's, her son was an A&L captain, running up and down here too. But he could use the north-east channel with the Binborough. Only 6,000 tonne. He could get on a high tide. He could get out through there, and he didn't have to pick up a pilot because he was backwards and forwards all the time. But John's gone now too. John will be about 82, 83 years old.
Oh, it's just and the more stuff, the more you find out just how little you know.
And there was the other bloke, Tommy Smith, who used to be on the Brisbane Trader. I met him once, and he was the guy that took a shortcut. And just off Redcliffe with the water, and there was a big stink. They thought the ship was going to go aground.
What else we got here? That's the internal wiring of the thing, and the relays and things.
So neat, isn't it?
The computers hadn't been invented when they drew this. Here we are. Here's all the lighting, all the controls over.
Under Preisline, before Preisline. Keep going past, but from here you'll pass Preisline on the right.
See this here? All the indicators. And see, they were bulbs, and I'm a great believer in indicators because when something goes, if you got an indicator frequency meter, that's a resistance, and this looks like two contacts into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yes.
There's a resistor. This is a trembling balance or something where
we left on the 18th of May anyway, you know? And I like the colour, see? But
see, if the voltage goes under a certain thing, this will come on. Here we are, look, under voltage and mains failure relay.
Yeah, but I have already lots of
That's great. I used to dream about that sort of thing.
So you can see on Upper Gay Terrace there's only that one house, which is the brick-clad one down there now. And then 10 years later, look at it. And that was Nicklin's house.
Yeah, I remember him. I used to go surfing with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mr. Bulcock owned the land from Arthur Street there right through to the front and across here to the passage. And that was in the Queensland Colonial Government then. He was a member of that, and then he was going to build an estate there, and it was going to be a temperance estate with no grog or anything, and that's why the Hotel Francis and King Street and Queen Street are all over there. He didn't develop it for quite a while. Yeah. And Emily Bulcock lived down on the front, down there in those really weird-shaped houses that were designed by the bloke, I think it was Groom or somebody who was the Lord Mayor of Brisbane. They're really clever, spaced ratio design with stupid fibro walls on funny angles and things, but there was a batch of them along the front there.
Okay.
Emily Bulcock. And I always remember her. She told us a great story where she came home and there were some ladders in her front yard, and she'd been burgled, and the hardware place had delivered the ladders as on instruction, and the burglar was coming to use the ladders to burgle her house. Mr. Bulcock did. He gave this piece of land here to build a timber tower on, and the timber tower was manned, and they were watching for they were terrified of the Americans because the Civil War was on there, the French and the Russians, that sort of thing. Now, Harold Maltman's father ran a line, and I don't know whether it was a Morse line or a telephone line, from the tower through the trees and everything right through to Landsborough. So they could give the warning if the Russians or the things arrived. Yeah.